Grand Rising, everyone. It's Shalonda, and we're back. So again, I'm just pulling in the energy here, right? Like so. Again, I told y'all before that along the lines of this journey, I can feel people that I once respected at some point in time. I may get comfortable, with a fellow. What can we call ourselves? Because I can't continue to use the term soul sibling. Well, anyways, I guess it is. We got soul ties. We got soul ties. Some of us came back here. You know what I'm saying? As partners, some people forgot who the other was. It reminded me of this show. I think that I was trying to start watching it, but it was kind of boring. That the people woke up every day and they forgot who they were or something like that. And so they had to kind of get familiar with each other again or whatever. It was something weird. But it made me think about how the whole thing about energy being transmitted again, and the whole thing with people being bought off and paid off in by the multitudes, again, to make sure that this time they can try to get rid of, I feel, this empress and maybe other um, uh, people that, again, they saw coming as the greats. So again, instead of having to so-called kill the person this time, they just want to go ahead and just act like the people that never exist and just, never let them get their feet wet, or never let them get the exposure that they needed to get, right? Or even bind them or blind them, right? Okay, so again, the way I live my life on a daily basis, 24 hours a day, call it some kind of Fort Knox, I feel as though it's source and a protection. And I feel like it's because I'm here for a reason, just like you may be as well, right? I don't mess with you. I don't mess with nobody, so don't mess with me. I'm here to speak my piece. People should worry about their own. People should worry about their own. I'm going to speak my piece unless it got something to do with you if you feel some kind of way, because I don't really name names. So if you feel some kind of way, then it must be something. So we're going to talk about last night. Now, I'm not I guess sometimes I can get in my feelings, right? Um, but lately I've been feeling strange when it comes to, like I said, it feels like coming into those particular gifts, right? That energy of that Christ figure that would come and would trample, or would even make the wise look foolish. So again, I'm starting to see the things going on within the wise so-called communities in education, medical, politics, and all these groups trying to mock certain things and wokeness so-called and things like this. But at the end of the day, they mocking God. That's what they mocking. Because there ain't no way that I just got this stuff and I'm just pulling it out of nowhere that something ain't showing me. Okay? Call it the ancestors, guides, God, angels, messengers, whatever you want to use is present here. So again, going throughout my day is not even just a regular day. We're going throughout the dimensions, and I think that it's to bring this new light, or this new way of this new thought onto the plane. So again, why not share with you guys? I feel like there are already certain groups mining the mind, or in the dome, right? Again, represented as the capital. We're just going to go into this little, I think the video is only 10 minutes, probably going to take us 20 because I'm going to be talking. Might take an hour because I'm going to be talking. But last night, Neckback, right? And I'm sure it's like neck bit bat or something like that, like a Q kind of sound, which remind me of Namke, or again the same names that we've been using, again reference to it, either the soul of this individual, which has changed over time throughout family lines or lineage, right? But what I'm saying is the spirit, when I'm talking about the spirit of wisdom, or the ruach that was there before the beginning, that's earth, Gaia. Even I've seen words spelled uh kind of different than excuse me. I kind of just woke up and I'm just doing this right up out my sleep. Okay. So excuse me. I'm trying to still wake up. we'll get to when we get to those names, right? Because we're going to go back into that book in a minute, okay? But something brought me to Naket, because I told you guys in that video the other day, sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying. And then I got to even listen, replay something that I said, in my head when I see something else to show me that this is what we was trying to do, right? So people are going to say, oh, this and that, and get it from here, whatever. Like I told that prophecy, of the elders. But again, I do realize, right? This is what I realize out of all full respect is what I can have. I do realize, right, that there's still some indiscrepancies here. There's always still something uncomfortable here. Okay, so again, I'm aware that sometimes when it comes to certain energies, that again they can come off at first as something, and then as soon as you let them in, then it can turn into something where it's also something that can take from you. If anybody doesn't want to admit that there's an energy on this plane, a feminine energy right now that has always been, that has gone through the seasons and the times and the changes, right? And they want to show you expanse of something, right? Because we all have energies attached to us too now. The older you are, the more, right? So I have to look at the whole thing. So it's always out of respect. I have to look at the whole thing that's going on. And I have to question everything. I don't care who it is, younger, elder, who it is. At this point in time, I question everything. Sometimes it's already too late because I feel like there's this sense of this spell of a lagging where I'm a day behind. Even my feed on social media sometimes seem a day behind. Sometimes just the feeling and the energy around me feels like a day or some time has been lost or lagging. This is a new thing. Is that thing that man will not be able to describe. He will be monitoring it, but he will not be able to understand because it's sent from something far greater. And that's what it is. And you had to tap into it. You had to be born with it. It got to be a 24-hour thing a day. You don't get to play. Cooking seems frivolous. I've been an at-home mom for 20-something years. Cleaning becomes frivolous. It's something else that's going on here, right? So there's a perfect time to even place a private eye on particular individuals, right? In order to make them look some kind of way because they're filled with the spirit. And that's all they do. Anything else feels uncomfortable. You understand? Now I see this spirit, but people don't also see that I see that energy. I see that energy of others beings that I see that they either tried to tamper with, come into my energy, or they did come into my energy. And I can see the look in their eyes when they've been trying to be in my energy. And when that's gone, and when the walls is put up and that force field is being around me and protected, they mad. And then they want to point and pick and talk about all this other stuff. And especially when it comes to men and they come in positions and stuff like that. And when it comes to the biblical text and they see this woman doing these kind of things and these wonders, and they think I don't know that they see, but I can sense that they see. Source show me they see. I see the way they look at the camera. I see they souls and what's behind them through the camera. So you want to act funny? Y'all want to act like that? I keep the peace. But as soon as it's okay for a man to be in his full power, they see a feminine energy, right, in full power, it's a problem. Everybody got to start going against. They just piling up. I see all the bodies piling up, but you know what? They piling up on top of each other. Their ass gonna lay there. All that stuff they tried to put on me, had me in here locked up. Yeah. I know when the energy is the energy of source, and I know when the energy is energy of man or technology. I can take advice from elders or youth. They both have something to say. I measure that up to what source say. But ain't nobody gonna take away the fact that this was a matriarchal society here in the Americas, and it was women that was of a certain background or lineage. The oldest in the garden, the wisest. That they want to call it the serpent. Oh, nobody can do this. Oh, the devil can make mysteries happen too. Whoa, what happened? What happened even to Lilith? Why did they turn her into that? And then select something else that would be Eve. It's almost the same thing when I was talking about the Wajet energy. That I feel like, okay, we were talking about Hathor and Wajet, but I felt like at some point in time the Wajet, excuse me, represents a cloak or a covering or something of the eye, where in a sense it kind of was taking away from the eye. It was taking away from Hathor. The Hathor is shown in as a cow, right? There's your so-called mammy energy. And Wajet is a serpent, right? You're slender. They're both gonna be of a what is it, Mandan or Mandarin, right? Or some kind of Persian or some kind of energy with ancient Egypt, right? It's gonna be something that, because we're talking about the whole thing is talking about the mixing of the cultures. But in order for that switch to happen, right, to get Wajet to be that particular one that would be exalted or put, because she was supposed to be the watcher over, but it was not even a watcher over in that sense. It was to tap into her fucking energy. You understand what I'm saying? It was to tap into Hathor's energy and become one with her in a sense of taking that and then taking off with what? Also her love. While the empress becomes the cow or the so-called mammy that have to sit there and do all this and that, or at a more heightened level. Really? She was more valued at one point. Again, this is all just information. This is all just information. The only testimony that I can say is the visions and the living process of the visions and things in the way that I am able to see throughout my day, all day long. The story is being told to me. The information comes to me. I unravel it. You can see it for yourself. You feel how you feel about it. I'll feel how I feel. But I know what I'm going through at the same time as well. People laugh at ancient Egypt in America. Okay. When I see certain things like this and read into things like this, it's confirmation for me. The locations where the items of so-called Egyptology that they found here, all these artifacts and things, I was right. Let's look at it. But again, they mock. They mock to try to make it seem like you're mad either way. Jealous, mad like they are, but they the ones stalking everything you do and doing what you do, right? Or mad meaning you salty. And I see why everybody wasn't given eyes to see. Because of the way that they would use it. Okay, I wasn't even recording. So anyways, it's talking about Wajet here. I'll make it quick. Depicted as the cobra twined around a papyrus stem. She was a tutelary goddess of Lower Egypt. The form of the rearing cobra on a crown is termed the uraeus. Now, again, when you talk about this crown, for some reason, like I said, remember when I said that, and I can't remember because it was off when I thought I was recording. That for some reason I thought when we were talking about Hathor and the Eye of Ra, and I said for some reason I thought the Wajet thing was kind of strange, and I felt like the Wajet thing, although again it's being documented as happening, was that what was supposed to happen? It's just my question. Or was it, sorcery and again witchcraft and things like that, or things done behind the scenes to change the flow of things, right? Because that I know it's shown as a spirit of protection, or is it a spying spirit? Is it a watchful eye? Is it that kind of energy, right? Is it the kind of energy that somebody would put on somebody if they want to not actually, if they want to, again, remove power from them or have some kind of control or binding or blinding going on? Because again, you have those serpents or whatever wrapping around it. Because like I said, this remind me of, again, that scripture, lest no one take your crown. Hold on. Lest no one take your crown, right? So again, if they can identify the real crown at the time of coronation, then again, someone can then what? Come in and take your juice, your corona or your crown or whatnot, right? Somebody can come and take your juice, right? See, but then it's making me think about a cup overfloweth or overrunneth, and again, the well won't be running dry. But that don't mean that people can't come take from the well and give it to others and use it against the well. That don't mean, right, that they can't poison the well. That don't mean that they can't send energy to try to poison the well. Because they know your cup is overflowing or runneth over. And those secretions, every part of the body, right, becomes something that can be used as a resource. From your dome, right, or that north, that which is the north border, all the way down to the south. And when we go into this whole so-called spiritual thing, and we go into projecting, there's something to be had with that as well. So, of course, some of these men are going to start jumping on the bandwagon again and showing some kind of force because they're embarrassed about the way that they have probably been brought in, shown, right? I don't know why I was just thinking the scent of a woman. Everything ain't got to be like that, but some things are about that closeness, but some things are about that. And if you're not on a certain level of understanding, you won't even sense it. Those of us who sense it, you know it. That's why something has to be done. That's why it's the earth God is waking up this time. And every time. It's been that way. It's been that way. That's why they degraded you for so long. Had you feeling some kind of way about yourself. Keep you away from yourself with everything that's supposed to be supposedly valuable for you in this construct. When it's never really been that way, it's always been for it. And we just talking like we've been talking. So it says here, Neckback was the Egyptian white vulture goddess. Again, white also represents the brightest. Radiant, clear, fair. Now, that can be by skin tone, or it can be just somebody that's fair and balanced. To shine. To brighter. Morally pure. Being well established before the conquest. We talking about energy. It has, we're learning at this, we're learning, we're always learning. Doesn't take millions of dollars in a university to do so. Matter of fact, that's keeping you away from the truth. And your ego, right? That people blame ego, right? That ego that you have that you don't even realize because of the fact that you think that you could know better because you got there or you went there. You got that or you went there. So again, Source is going to use those that didn't do that to put the other ones to shame. Because we all got to learn. So when they laughed at you for your downfall, or when they laughed at you because they thought they had their foot on your neck, gracious, friendly, favorable, excuse me, the racial sense of those races, light complexion. So it says about American English, 1852, white supremacy. So again, when we're talking about white supremacy, just spiritually, what are you talking about? Because somebody could be, if it's morally pure at some time in this story, it could be talking about people that skin tone was actually dark. Because we know pure also means then something that is like in the earliest stages before it was founded with or formed, or you see what I'm saying? So again, sometimes when it's talking about white supremacy, is speaking against the very royals or the people that, again, would be in certain positions of power right now if they knew who they were. It's almost this energy of, I'll tear it up before I just give it back to you. And it does have a envious or jealous or just a, you know. And again, but I'm a bull. I'm. But I say, if that energy cared that much, I don't see why they would use others and pin against or do all these other things instead of just showing the way if you wanted to just guide. So again, we're going to go ahead and read this, right? Because we're not going to, you know, I see something about this that can go either way. Mm. Mm. This poem, I'm just 1880, 1899, Kipling. All right, we're going to have to finish this later. Take up the white man's burden, the savage wars of peace. Fill full the mouth of famine. Okay, we know that famine doesn't actually have to mean that there's starvation from physical food that you cook on the stove and eat to nourish your body. No, that famine can also be from information because due to a mask, right? So again, if they give us these depicted images or give us the perception that people were walking around with metal masks on their face in the middle of the heat, summer in heat, raking, working in the fields that didn't even have food in them, and they had to have those masks on because they was eating the food. No, what food was they? What was it? So again, we talking about book burning again. We're talking about Bible burning. And again, it's not even the Bible. Actually, it's not even a text that does it. It's your mindset. It's the fact that you was taught wrong. It's the fact that we don't know what the words really mean. It's the fact that so many people been scarred by it, and they seem so, tough and everything. But really, it's just because they can't see, which could be understandable. It could really be understandable. But it shows that people are still dealing with feelings and emotions when it comes to some of these things if they can't look at it for just what it is, just a history book. That some of us are able to look through and show you the way to where we got to where we get into today. If so-called God or that energy didn't give it to you, then who would even have been able to show you the way up out the dark? Oh, it's okay. Because people then selected idols, right? So that's exactly what they're going to get. And at the end of the day, and it ain't going to be nothing like the real thing. And the real thing ain't going to die this time. The real thing ain't going to be invaded this time. The real thing see you coming this time. The real thing, nature, they say hell have no fury like the woman scorned. I'll tell you one thing about the earth. Again, and an elder taught me that. An elder showed me that, reminded me of that. And bid the sickness cease. And when your goal is nearest, the end for others sought. Watch sloth and heathen folly. Bring all your hopes to naught. Kind of sound like a damn spell. So I wonder why people were saying, oh, don't be emotional, don't be in your feelings. I'm passionate. This is something totally different than being emotional and passionate. Two totally different things. And when people say stuff and I say somebody said, it's just me taking that into account really quick. Not even nothing directly against nobody, dude. It's just mentioning something because it's like, I don't know. It's just like that's how the downloads come in. So at some point in time, I might be saying some source, flick it back into my view, and then I say it again because somebody that's listened to this message might have, the way that it triggered me. Somebody that's listened to this message, it might again be able to open up something for a door for them to be able to see. So again, it's not like me, doing anything like that, right? It just is what it is. It should be somewhat of a compliment for that one thing at that one moment. I don't even have to like the individual all the way. I don't even have to, you know what I'm saying? I can learn something from my worst enemy. So at the end of the day, it's not even all about that. Being of aromatic color, of maximum